Right, so I thought I'd just make a quick video. We finally got a telescope that has the base to it, and my friend got this telescope from a guy that ordered it on Amazon, and just like all the other comments on Amazon, the guy got it and they didn't give him the base. He complained, and they told him, well, we sent you the base, and he said, okay, here's the dimensions of the telescope. Here's the dimensions of your box. Here's the dimensions of the base. There's no way you could have sent me the base all in one box. So they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I guess they sent him supposedly the base, and I think if it was his story or somebody else's, I can't remember now. But instead of getting a base, he got another telescope, and then I think he had to keep calling him, and finally he got a base for it. And then he didn't like the way it worked because apparently, and I'm just guessing, that these must ship with the lens already installed into this piece. So this is a 2-inch eyepiece adapter. Okay, you don't leave this on here unless you're using 2-inch eyepieces. But I think that they ship them like this, because I've read the comments on Amazon, and these guys are like, I couldn't figure it out. So if you have the 2-inch eyepiece holder on here and the 1.25, you won't be able to achieve focus. This thing doesn't actually have a lot of travel on the thing here, and it also slips quite easily. I don't know what it's using. I think like maybe a rubber wheel. That's the limit of its travel. If you accidentally have this tightened, the focuser will not move, and you'll think it's broken. When we got it from him, it was actually slightly tightened. I don't know why. I mean, you can pull it out and push it in, but... So I think what it does is I just think it has a rubber wheel. But anyway, so you don't want this piece in here. You don't want that tightened down. And I don't know what the reason was why they would have so many people having this problem. It shows this piece in the instruction manual. It shows it. And it says 2-inch eyepieces holder. It says eyepieces. I don't know. It says not included with Pyrex or something else. And so it's just an extension, I guess, because I guess I'm pretty sure you could put a 2-inch eyepiece in here directly. But this is how it's supposed to be with the supplied eyepieces. And if it's not that way, then it's not going to work. Now, the one thing I will say about this thing, look at this. This is rock solid. My homemade mount for our 200p is terrible. And I've made a few different mounts for different Dobsonians, and I've never been... Oh, God. Thank God that was the one I don't need. Oh, man. It didn't really do any damage because it hit the other part. Anyway, we don't have 2-inch eyepieces. I don't foresee myself doing that. The thing I noticed is this doesn't stay on here, so he had taped it. I don't have this problem with my other telescope. You have the dot down there. It's in my opinion, it's a good telescope, but I don't know that I'd want to spend $700 on it. So the guy or lady or whoever that ordered this thing, because there's a lady's name on the box, that had all the problems with Amazon, finally, I think they got mad, and they disputed the charges because they didn't give them the base, and I think then the base showed up or something. whatever the case may be, I think they ended up getting the telescope for free. And then they weren't happy with it because that 2-inch adapter was on there and they couldn't figure it out. And then they gave it to my friend, and then he finally figured it out, but he wasn't really, super impressed with it. So I did some work for him. I worked on one of his trucks and fixed some stuff on his RV. And so he gave it to us. So that was a good deal. So personally, though, would I buy this over the 200p? No, I would not. Part of the reason is because I have a 6-inch, an 8, and a 10. In between the 8 and the 10, I don't see any kind of difference worth having both. If you have a 6, then a 10 would probably be good. But if you have an 8, there's no reason to go to a 10. And if you have an 8, you could probably go to a 6 and not care. So, honestly, this thing's big. It's in the size of where it starts to become a pain in the butt to deal with. And I prefer the 200p over this. It sees about the same, and it's significantly smaller in diameter. It's still the same length. But thing is, I don't have the base for the other one. I have a homemade base. And, I mean, you can get it to wobble a little bit, but it's... The way they made this stuff is really heavy, and the Teflon pads on the outer perimeter of this is going to work 10 times better than any record player design that you see people doing. I've done 2 different ways. I've done something like this with a record in the middle, and I didn't really like how it worked. I also did it with bearing grease in between 2 boards, and I found that worked actually pretty good. But usually, I mean, you're going to get quite a bit of wobble on those. So, yeah, it's usable, but it's a pain in the butt. It's not usable like this. So, unfortunately, the only place I've seen that might sell the bases to these is B&H Photo. And it's on their website, but you can't order it, so you'll have to call them. And I've just completely been dragging my feet on doing that. But we ended up getting this, so that's pretty cool. So... I would say it's a good telescope, but if you already have an 8, I wouldn't step up to it. I would, go to a 12 or a 14 or something bigger. But it's pretty good. So, I thought I'd share that with the channel. I haven't updated anything on here in quite some time. It's not really been great skies lately so much. But anyway, that's just kind of my impressions of the 250p, which is actually 254 millimeters. So, I also, if you notice here, I've got a Celestron lens on it. I'm not really digging the lenses that come with it. I don't think they work that good. I think they're kind of poor quality. But what do I know? So anyway, I'll catch everybody later.